Hi, welcome to Improve Work podcast. Here you'll find resources to level up your leadership role and create the team that you want. It's Daniela here. Feel free to ask me questions about today's episode's topic. Also, if you would like me to speak about a specific topic, let me know. You'll find my email address in the description of this episode. I hope you enjoy it and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Hi there, welcome back. In today's episode, we'll talk about how to increase engagement and productivity through work meetings. Companies have different ways of organizing and running meetings with their employees. When we examine how a company conducts meetings, we can gain insights into its culture, leadership style, and work environment. Can you recall the various types of meetings you have attended or organized? What were the differences between these meetings, and how did these varieties contribute to their success or make them more challenging? Think about it for a minute. Okay, I hope you got some insights and make you more interested about this episode topics. So let's see who can organize meetings in a company. And I will ask you if you have certain rules or patterns, formal or informal, that establishes what members of the company can initiate a meeting. Most often, meetings are held when a leader wants to discuss with his or her team members on specific topics. But meetings can be held also when team members propose them to their leaders and are approved. You may be wondering what are the advantages of allowing employees to propose meetings. Well, let's see some advantages. One of them is that it enhances communication and transparency. It enables employees to voice their concerns, seek clarification, ask questions, and share important updates or information. Sometimes an activity can be blocked because an employee needs an answer, more information, needs help, or wants to discuss certain aspects of their activities. Another advantage is that it encourages open communication from top to bottom and vice versa. When the distance between a leader and team members is reduced, information flows more freely and decision making becomes more informed. Do you agree? Another advantage is that it encourages ownership and engagement. Allowing employees to propose meetings empowers them to take ownership of their work and to be responsible for their results. They are encouraged to take the initiative and solve the issues they encountered on the way. And another advantage builds trust between employees and management. Employees know that they can freely express their questions, concerns, ideas, or ask for help. Okay, let's go further and talk about how to decide who should participate at a meeting. Meeting participants can be chosen based on the meeting agenda, but the reverse can also be applied, meaning setting a meeting agenda based on the participants. Work meetings can be organized with employees from the same department, employees from different departments, or with top leaders from various teams. Essentially, we can create any possible combination among the company's members. So, what criteria can you consider when choosing the meeting participants? First, all the participants should be involved in the activities or projects listed in the meeting's agenda and discussed during the meeting. It's unproductive to talk about topics that not everyone is familiar with or can contribute to because they waste their time. They could be using that time for other things. Another reason is that in some cases, the issues that are discussed may not be clearly and correctly understood by all the participants. This could be due to a lack of familiarity with specialized language, an awareness of previous discussions on different aspects of the issue in other contexts, or simply not paying attention to those discussions because they are not their responsibilities. Does this resonate with you? Have you ever participated in meetings where issues outside of your responsibilities were discussed? How did you feel and behave in those moments? Some leaders may justify this by stating that it helps participants to have an understanding of what is happening in other departments or with different activities. Yes, I believe that it's indeed beneficial for employees to have a broader picture of the company's activities, while also acknowledging that they do not need to know the intricate details of those activities. They can be informed about them through other means. I have personally encountered these types of meetings, but I personally don't agree with this approach. I think that is a waste of time for some members of the meeting. And also, if the participants are not involved in all the issues being discussed, they may become inattentive or bored with the subjects that are discussed. And this can negatively impact the atmosphere of the meeting, influencing the participants that are involved in those subjects. Another aspect that you may consider when you choose the participants of a meeting is the number of participants that are recommended for the type of meeting you organize. It's important to consider the specific context and objectives when determining the appropriate number of attendees for a meeting. But in general, I recommend to limit the number of participants to a smaller number, around 6 or fewer than 6, in order to facilitate effective communication and active participation. Also, the number of participants has an impact on the decision process. When the number of participants increases, communication becomes more complex, more difficult, making it harder to involve everyone in discussions and reach a consensus. Larger group sizes tend to lead to decreased participation and increased difficulty in managing the dynamics of the meeting. With a larger number of participants, it becomes harder to coordinate differing perspectives, manage conflicts, and reach agreements. Moreover, studies have shown that larger groups tend to experience information overload and reduced individual accountability. Another aspect to consider is determining which participants involved in the topics to be discussed should attend the meeting. And here you can think of the roles of the employees and their numbers. If you have 2 or 3 employees who are involved in the topics that will be discussed, I recommend including all of them regardless of their positions. And here is why. Because you can receive and discuss all these employees' feedback, opinions, ideas, questions, and involve them. Another reason is because they receive the same information. When a person transmits to another person the information they receive from a third person, some pieces of information can be lost, can be misinterpreted, or communicated in an incorrect way, changing the meaning. Another reason is if the meeting's objective is to solve specific problems or involves creative tasks, having more participants can lead to the generation of more ideas. They will feel involved in the decision process and engage more. When the decisions are taken in a meeting and the members contributed with their ideas, arguments, and thoughts, they are more likely to engage in applying those decisions rather than when they are told what to do. And the last reason, the team spirit is developed in these meetings. When individuals come together in a shared physical or virtual space, it provides an opportunity for face-to-face interaction, collaboration, and building personal connections. Through active participation and engagement in meetings, team members can learn from each other, exchange ideas, and work towards common goals. Okay, let's go further and talk about some good practices for preparing a meeting. One good practice is to clarify the outcomes that you want to obtain through the meeting. and think about what answers, actions, plans, or information do you want you and the participants to have at the end of the meeting. This will help you ask the right questions during the meeting and orient the discussions in a direction that will help you reach these established outcomes. Another good practice is, after you set the meeting agenda, decide the order of the topics that will be discussed. Put the most important topics at the beginning of the meeting. Another useful practice is to inform the participants about the meeting, its goals, and agenda. If it's not a recurring meeting or not an impromptu one, send meeting invites and add them to the calendar. In this way, you and the participants won't forget about it. And before doing this, check the participants' calendars to see when they are available and set the time, duration, and location of the meeting. Another useful practice is, in case you are meeting with members from the same project or department, ask them if they would like to add something to the agenda, or establish this as a rule so they know they have the option. Another useful practice is to communicate your expectations and any necessary information to attendees in advance so they can prepare, including how they are expected to contribute. For example, if you need specific data from certain members, request it beforehand. If you are seeking solutions to an issue and want their ideas, let them know so they can prepare suggestions. During the meeting, you can discuss and analyze every member's ideas or develop new solutions based on the input provided. And in this way, you also make them aware that they will be involved in the discussions. Another practice, facilitate an engaging environment. Prepare the meeting space or virtual platform to create a conducive environment for discussion. Ensure that necessary equipment, such as projectors or audio-video tools, are set up and functional. If it's a virtual meeting, ensure that the chosen platform is accessible and that everyone understands how to use it. And the last good practice is to anticipate potential questions or reactions and prepare yourself to address them. For example, if you have to present a new project to your team, by anticipating potential questions or objections, you can gather the necessary information, data, and supporting materials to address their concerns. This enables you to provide clear explanations and build confidence. Alright, let's see now to what aspects to pay attention during the meeting. One aspect is to keep the discussions on track. If attendees speak about issues or aspects unrelated to the meeting agenda, redirect the conversation on the right track. However, if important topics come up in the discussion you have, you can establish another meeting for them. Another aspect, if only a portion of the participants involved in the discussion, ask the quiet members questions related to the topics being discussed so they can share their perspectives, thoughts, or ideas. Knowing the attendees' perspectives will help you understand if they agree with what is being discussed or if they have objections or concerns. In order for them to get on board with what is established in a meeting, you need to know where they stand and reach an agreement with them. Even if this could take longer, it's worth it because once they agree with what is established, they will be more engaged in the actions they have to take. Another aspect to pay attention during the meeting is if an attendee tries to dominate the meeting, you can explain that there is a limited time for the meeting and that every participant has to give their perspectives. You can interrupt them in a subtle way and ask for another member's opinion. Also, another thing that you can do is to announce at the beginning of the meeting some basic rules. including the expectation that members should be respectful and give other participants space to talk. Another aspect to pay attention during the meeting is in case you are dealing with members who always seem to disagree with what is being said, ask them to support their affirmations and provide arguments. This will make them more responsible for what they say, and if their arguments prove to be unfounded several times, usually they will back off. Okay, and another aspect to pay attention during the meeting is to ask for the participants' ideas and solutions before discussing your own. And this is because if you are expressing your solutions or opinions first, they may hesitate to express theirs, especially if these are different than yours. And additionally, better ideas may be developed discussing the attendees' solutions or ideas. And at the end of the meeting, summarize what was established, and if assignments were made, check if the assigned members understand what they have to do and by when. Okay, let's talk now about actions that you can take after the work meeting. And these are as much important as what you did before and during the meeting. So, one action is to review meeting objectives. Reflect on the meeting's objectives and assess whether they were achieved. Evaluate if the meeting successfully addressed the intended purpose and if the desired outcomes were accomplished. Another action that can be taken after the meeting ends is to send a meeting minute to all the participants. So, send an email with the key points that were discussed and the actions established, along with the members assigned to do the actions and the time limits. However, if it's a casual meeting or there is a high level of trust and responsibility among the participants, this may not always be necessary. The participants usually take notes during the meeting, and in case it's a recorded meeting with AI tools, this becomes unnecessary. And the last but very important action is to follow up. So monitor the progress, provide any necessary support, and ensure that the tasks are being completed within the designed timelines. This demonstrates your commitment to moving things forward. Determine if any additional communication is necessary after the meeting. This could involve providing updates, sharing relevant resources, or scheduling follow-up discussions. To wrap up, work meetings are essential for promoting collaboration, productivity, and team spirit within an organization. So let's see the key points that we discuss in this episode. So we discuss who can organize work meetings in a company. We discuss about how to decide who should participate at a meeting, then how to prepare for the work meeting, to what aspects to pay attention during the meeting, and what actions to be taken after the work meeting. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Use my email address from the description of this episode. Also, don't forget to check out the Improve Work resources, especially the online courses and programs that I created for entrepreneurs with small teams. This will help you to improve your employees' motivation and your leadership skills. The online courses contain practical guidelines that you can apply on your own in your company. If you have questions about these online courses and programs, you can book a call with me and I will be happy to answer all your questions. Okay, bye bye for now. I'll see you in the next episode.